Yes.
Please wait for a moment. Please wait a moment.
Yes.
Please wait a moment.
Okay, I can hear you, the
Now
coordinator.
we are waiting our chair, so please wait a moment.
Yes, yes.
Can you please turn off your slide?
Okay.
But I think that
Yes,
let the
thank you.
speaker present and then let Walid to get in. So don't worry. I think that Palin, you can start, and he will follow up after you speak.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So everyone can see my PowerPoint.
Yes, we can.
Can you re-share it again?
Okay. Can you see that the PowerPoint?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. One more time. One more time. Let me.
Yeah, you have the chair. We have the chair here. Professor Walid Menjo will chair the session. So, Walid,
Okay.
I think that the first one already start to speak. You can follow it up from now.
Mr.
Yes.
Pauline, please turn off your slide. We will start in 1 minute. So
Turn
please
off my
your
like what?
slide,
Turn off
please.
my what?
Yes. Again, is my voice clear now?
Please off our slide.
Is my voice clear?
Okay. May I present it now?
No, please.
I think that Walid have a problem with the speaker. Walid, can you speak?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I leave Walid to share the session. You can start.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Professor Zuan. Thank you.
Okay.
And sorry
So
for this
distinguished guests,
issue.
esteemed delegates, and
Is
participants,
out
my
of
name
my
is
control.
Ating Thu, and I will be your
Okay,
host.
so for the session, Dr. Palin Pucharan
Yes.
will present paper study titled Energizing Founder Human Capital, the Entrepreneurship Team with Socio-Cognitive Concerns on Creating the Sustainable.
This meeting is being recorded.
So the firm only responds to the changing tone of the peers who are larger, have more market share, and more tangible than them. So this result indicates that firms pay more attention to the peers who are perceived to have better information, suggesting that they react to the change in the peers' MD&A tone due to the learning motivation. And using the annual change in the peers groups, it shows that the firms are more sensitive to the changing positive tone of both the new and current peers, but not to those the firm who are no longer their peers. So this result shows that the manager they dynamically adjust their peer group and taking into account the changing nature of the product market. In addition, this result address the
This meeting is being recorded.
Questions from the floor? Anyone would like to ask? All right, we'll come back again to the floor, but I have one small question. If you won't mind sharing the screen again and looking at the results, if you would like to do that, especially the table where you have the structure equation modeling results. Again, I'm not very expert in structure equation modeling, but I'm just a little bit puzzled. Can we go up to yes, this one. So according to this, the leadership transformation it have an impact on energizing behaviors, right? And it came
Yes.
significant and you accept. But I can also see the job characteristics, for example, it have a higher impact. If I look at the coefficient of the p-value, it have a higher impact on energizing employees more than leadership. Although leadership is important, but the job characteristics is tends, according to this, it's more important. Leadership will have more uh, impact on the job characteristic itself. So it's a little bit complicated. Um, how you call it? It's not a direct if impact of leadership on energizing employees' behavior. It's actually through a mediating factor, which is the job characteristic, isn't it? And as a matter of fact, job characteristic is actually have more impact. Is that correct from what I'm seeing in front of me?
Yes. In the meaning of the resources, we focus on the mediating growth of job characteristics and
Okay.
team learning. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought. It's not just a direct impact; it has to be indirect impact. Now the question is: are those companies that he got the data for, those airline industries, are they all the same size? Did he distinguish between the big, large company and medium and small firms? Would
This
that have
is about the it's in the service companies in Vietnam. There are not very big, but not SMEs.
So they are all
It's about 500 employees each companies.
No,
Yeah.
but the size of the firm, in
Yeah.
terms of the value of the assets
Yeah.
that they have, the bigger, the larger the company, the more rich it is, and therefore it might be able to get more or attract more leaders, better leaders than small firms. This is an assumption. Of course, it needs to be tested. But that's why maybe the size of those companies might have different results. But I'm not sure if they are similar size. That's why I asked about their size. Not size can be also defined as how many employees a company have. That's correct. That's also I've seen that before. So if they all have the same number, almost the same number of employees, then the results will be consistent.
This meeting is being recorded. This meeting is being recorded.
The people in Vietnam like tend to
So
like
actually, I think there is a particular possible reason is you have shown that there is a credit inequality across the population or the financial companies. Credit inequalities are there, I think. And another thing, a situation maybe arises due to the high level of inequality in the economy. So
yeah.
certain level of populations gets the particularly.
This meeting is being recorded.
Economic concern for the entrepreneurship, because the spirit of entrepreneurship, rather than guiding them toward a common interpretation of reality, but we want them to make the benefit for the management or the benefit of their activity by meaning, the meaning to help to serve the society. That's what I'm going to leading to. Okay. To organize that effectively, I use the architecture engagement technique in order to make sure that all the mechanism or the available and resources, particularly the capability of the human capital, focus on the innovation solution design that focus both on macro and micro level foundation. So architecture of engagement is the collective behavior try to optimum the solution with the fewer resources that will help the economic and the social and society better toward the new purpose of new business landscape that benefit all to enhance the sustainable growth, particularly the local or business or local development, not only the big city or something like that. Okay. So from the research that have done, okay, we can address that in order to forming the team. The criteria that most of the entrepreneur did it either in the interpersonal attraction strategy or resource seeking strategy. We try to integrate them and try to utilize them on the socio-economic concern. One one paper or one variable that I really interesting is how can create the spirit of action that help the workforce or the entrepreneurship team to invest their energy to make good of their business and try to help everyone to be better off or to create a better life for others. That's what the purpose of what I try to do, which I indicate to the variable called entrepreneurship driven action spirit. This is what I try to inspire young entrepreneurship to create not only the short-term benefit, but for the long-term development for all. Okay, this is a entrepreneurship-driven action spirit that focus on both micro and macro dynamic optimum design, which concern of the collective organizational engagement. So together with the intervention of the socio-cognitive concern, which thinking about rational concern. Remember when the economic crisis happened, small company adapt themselves better than the big one. So if we promote them to be rational, to be emotional concern and moral concern on the society, it will help the backbone of the economy work better. So this is what I try to conclude and try to study. It come to the final one that what we all need is a sustainable growth. So rather than the traditional one that we approach with talking about local development on the growth of building infrastructure, but we broaden the focus to create the equality or equity of long-term thinking by using resources for the next generation and the future, better future. So my proposition is talking about with a greater architecture of entrepreneurship team and organization engagement will help the sustainable growth. And the founder human capital and collective organizational engagement with the socio-economic concern will help promote the sustainable growth. The last one, we're talking about the design to promote the entrepreneurship-driven action spirit team, together with the critical variable that I already present. It will help to create not only the sustainable growth, but create the prosperity for us all. Thank you very much for your time and your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Palin, for this informative presentation. Thank you also for respecting the time of the presentation.
Yeah.
Do you hear me very well?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Professor Palim, for this informative presentation. It is clear sustainable growth rate يعني our country is now striving to
This meeting is being recorded. This meeting is being recorded.
You give second present next presenter, you can arrange that one. Okay, na?
Just a minute, sir.
Alt S. Simply you will click Alt S, it will come.
Okay, sir.
This meeting is being recorded.
So basically, three simple hypotheses has been confirmed. So in e-commerce setting, gamification participant can be driven by psychological needs. So it's confirmed. Number two, the relationship between gamification and psychological needs can be moderated by mindfulness. And this is as per expected. It is strong. It's around, here we have the number here. So psychologicalness strongly impact to gamification with the coefficient here as 87%. So it's really strong to me. And number three, and also is consumer differences in age influence how different they are in decision-making behavior. For those who are not in social science study, research, and also, in marketing behavior, you may say that it's common sense. Why don't you just bring it on the table? Okay. But in reality, I used to work in the business as well. It's really work because it's all measure. We want something measurable, and then we can quantify the result into our marketing strategy. Not just if we talk about marketing, it's just not just branding, not just nice word, not just messaging, not just communication. It's just be data driven. So that's what we want in our consumer behavior analysis. And when it comes to the difference between boy and man, we can see that in terms of psychological needs, I used to think there will be some major difference between the needs between the older versus the younger. But the results tells me that there are no significant differences. Although when we look at the mean difference, the mean number when we measure the scale, it's different. But in terms of statistical meaning, it's not. So this I will put into further study to explore why. For gamification and also the mindfulness level, especially for mindfulness level, men display higher levels of mindfulness, and it's a huge difference. When we're getting older, we will more moderate and men, we were more deliberate in making decisions, and especially when it comes to money, when it comes to shopping. So that's the result. And finally, let's discuss the implication of this finding for theories and practice. So I just put in here some very key major implications, but I thought that I mentioned it along the way when I present the previous slides already. But in one word, for consumer behavior, every little behavior, every little psychology differences counts. So business can encourage consumer to buy in many ways. So just like the way game producer to induce us to get addicted to game. So shopping can be entertaining with gamification, and that's why people call shoppertainment. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's
Mr.
very
Poke, maybe you want to unmute.
Yes, that's very engaging and an interesting topic. Like I said from beginning, this is like I'm also like I was once the gamer before, right? So that's why this is also like attracts me at some point. Okay, so I think I should start my questions right away. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to ask about the key insights. So you say that the results show that there is no difference in men and boys in terms of psychological needs, right? Okay, I would like to know more. So with that result, so what is your suggestion or implications? I mean, for the marketers in specific, ways based on those factors only. I just want to know if there is no the differences in boys and men about the psychological needs. So can we take advantage of that findings, for the implication or not?
Yeah, thank you very much for your, wonderful question. So as I mentioned earlier, the psychologist, there's no significant in terms of statistical meaning. And it comes to my surprise as well, because I expect there's gonna be some difference because, you know, at the same age, I am a boy, you are a boy. The psychological needs should be different already. But why here is there's no significant in terms of statistical results. So the very first step is, I think, we cannot just rely on this very initial results to propose the marketing strategy right away. We just need to expand the survey, or maybe we change the sampling, something like that. So that's what I'm gonna do for the next step. But in the meantime, what is my hypothesis is maybe so when it comes to psychology goodness, and also specific in my Likert scale, what I use to measure this kind of needs, there are three items. First is, the autonomy, relatedness, and also the competency. So I guess when reading this result, I guess that basically on the very foundation basic, most of us have a very similar psychological needs. And, well, intrinsically, but the way we express outside may be different. It depends on the context. It depends on the stimuli, like marketing stimuli. It depends on your also what we know that socioeconomic factors like financial literacy, income, everything else. So it may influence the way that we exhibit our needs outside. But basically, inside, we are human. And most of the time, the needs are similar. But I also want to retest with more participants with, maybe try some other countries or something like that to just see what is the difference between the results. But very thanks for your wonderful question.
Thank you for your insightful questions. I do agree with you that maybe the results sometimes do not go the way that we expect. So that's why we need to replicate a model in another regions and context to see maybe to test the results as well. Yeah. Okay. So there's no more questions from me. I think that's enough. So because
Thank you.
your presentation is so clear right now. Yeah.
Thank you very
Anyone
much.
else or have any questions? No questions? Very strange.
Yes.
All right. Oh, yes.
Yes. Thank you for Dr. Wallet, Professor Wallet, and presenter of Miss Lin. And this is a very interesting topic. And I wonder if we can we more specify the uh, recommend for the management about the platform when we divide to the age of the participant. Can we detail more the practical implication for the management?
Yeah. Thank you very much. That's really practical question. Yeah. So basically, in marketing, as I mentioned, it should be targeted. It should be, it's not like one size fits all strategy, and we cannot just offer a mass strategy for everyone. So specifically for this age-related findings, we may think about designing the way that we encourage buyer to buy. So let's say the e-commerce shoppers, right? When you just log into the app and right away you would offer something like, buy now. It's the flash sale only for you. Buy. So for the younger generation, it may work. But for the senior one and, the affluent segment, it sometimes sounds ridiculous. What's on mine? Why don't I have to buy something cheap? Something like that. So for this one, the very straightforward strategy that e-commerce strategists can employ is offering some kind of marketing content, marketing promotions message, or the offers, and especially for gamification, when each segment they have the special, they have different kind of the level of psychological needs. So, for example, for someone who love fast sales, who love to be recognized as a smart spender, to just hunt the fast sale, something like that, we can offer them the fast sale to just increase the conversion rate. But for those who are affluent, they are premium segment, we may offer something like long term, something like sustainable products. Okay, this is green, and we think that it's suitable for you because you are affluent, you are sustainable consumer, you are environmentally aware consumer. So this is for you, and we know that you will love it. So that's kind of the segmented marketing strategies that we can apply from this kind of research findings.
But I feel like the research findings is trying to use the addictive nature of men in order to push them into shopping more. That's what I felt. Because games usually, as you said, it's more addictive. And this results is based mainly on that addictive behavior in terms of psychological part. And but my main question is why men and boys? Why not female and girls?
Basically, it's just the way that I use words to just represent the population. So basically, boys, girls are the same segments, the same segment in some way, but in another way.
Women shop more than men, definitely.
Yeah.
The percentages.
But
So if you get the results for women, it might have better empirical.
Yeah, but if you,
I'm not putting that down. Definitely not. It's beautiful research, beautiful. But you can follow it with another one with women and girls because you want to see. I'm not sure. So there's a lot of girls also plays games, but I don't think women. I think women hate games more than men.
Yeah, I agree.
My wife keeps telling me, "Don't play games."
I agree with you. But here I have Hutton here and also myself and a game lover as well. So that's why I'm really into this topic.
It will be very interesting to see the difference in the results between the two, because that might have a big implication in terms of marketing. The behavior of the women versus girls and boys versus men. Are they the same? Are they different? Because that will be different target marketing strategies. But yes, I salute you for this beautiful research and keep going. It definitely have big potential. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. All right. Any more questions, Tulin? Anyone? Okay. All right. In that case, we'll move to the next one. Ms. Tran, that's you now. Okay. So
it's me here. So just hang up and share my screen.
Understanding consumer experiences with AR in the home decor, a quantitative pilot study. Although this is, again, this is not my specialization, I'm mainly economics and finance, but I find this fascinating. The quality of the research and the topics, it's very interesting.
All right then. So all of you can see my screen right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So I would like to start. Okay, so I welcome everyone to my conference paper with the topic about understanding consumer experiences in augmented reality in home decor in Vietnam. So the motivation of doing this starts from, like last year, I just got a new house and also I got really engaged with the home furnishing and decoration and feels like I also want to know more about the layout, the design arrangement, and also applying technology in the home decor as well. That's going to bring me to this topic, and also this is a part of my PhD project. So I'm currently the PhD candidate of University of Lincoln and UEH, Ho Chi Minh City. Okay. Right, so this is all of the main parts I would like to discuss today. So it's also like a typical structures of the paper introduction, and also it ends with the limitation in future research. Right. So first of all, I would like to lead up with the introduction, including the background, context, research aim, and importance of my study. So first of all, for the background and context, so as you can see also like the example here, you see that the AR technology seamless integrate digital content into the real environment. So it means that all of us as a users, if you want to arrange your digital content, for example, the furniture, you can use AR to see in advance, the arrangement in your house and to know that whether it fits or not to your house, and then you can go to the real store and buy it. And then for significance, my study in Vietnam. So as you can see that Vietnam is currently experiencing a rapid economic growth and digital transformation. That's truth. And if you look at the statistical data here, so majority of the people also using the internet, and they also got a really strong adoption of the technologies nowadays. So that's why AR technology should be considered in this field as well and in our country as well. And another thing is that the business and marketers in the home furnishing specifically, they also look at the AR because the AR going to help them to enhance the sales and also the effectiveness of their marketing programs. And regarding research aim, so first of all, the overarching aim of the study. So first of all, it would like to explore the AR technology, whether it can enhance the consumer engagement, promoting sustainability in home decor practices. Also, can also see that in impact of cultural factors in its adoption in Vietnam or not. And the specific aim of this pilot studies, for first of all, it's a part of my PhD project. So I'd like to know the preliminary results, that whether I can use the data, the results, to escalate the results to the quantitative study validation or not. So that's why I would like to know refine whether it can refine the interview guide, test feasibility of my research design, and identify emerging themes or not. And obviously it's going to become the robust research tools and methodologies for my larger scale study. And the importance of my study, because it looks at three main perspectives of in the marketing theory. So first of all, it looked at the consumer engagement and sustainability practices. As you know, that sustainability is sort of a trending topic nowadays, but it's also play an important role impact in our life to improving our well-being and also welfare. And last one, so because Vietnamese is also kind of have a special special traditions and also cultures. So I think that look at the specific cultural influence in Vietnam only also going to be the necessary one. So regarding the literature review, this is very short and brief literature review. Okay, so this is the key theoretical framework. So obviously, what is AR? So I don't need to explain because all of us see the example already. So I'd like to skip this one. But you know that you see a lot of studies in the past that the researchers look at the AR in the different segments. And then you also can see in the consumer engagement and decision making research, you can, I think this is a very popular researchers about the AR and consumer behavior, and Pantano and their fellows, they're looking at how AR going to affect the consumer engagements as well. So I believe that I based on this one to move up with my own study. And about the cultural influences on technology adoption, I think that one of the theories we can base on is the half-stepped model, because we can look at the different structures of half-step going and also how it play important role in the technology adoptions as well. That's why I would like to look at how it going to play out in the Vietnam country. That's why you look at the Trung and Quan. They are really famous for looking at the cultural dimensions in the technologies adoption. And for sustainability consumption in AR, there are not many research in the past about the sustainability, to be honest. However, lately, especially in 2023, so Kotio and his fellow also look at how using the technology in improving the sustainability practices and promotional programs about this sustainability as well. So I would like to base on that and apply, their theories in the specific context, such as the home decor. And obviously, based on the literature review in the past, there are some gaps that I would like to address in my study. So first of all, in the past, especially in the research of the Butt and his fellow, they only look at the AR influence on consumer behavior in South Korea and also in China, but they never looked at any, there's no research in the markets in Vietnam so far about AR in specifically the home decor. So I think that this is like a big gap that my study needs to address. The second one is that there is a lack of research in emerging markets. So as you can see, understanding consumer experience and perception of AR in home decor in emerging markets like Vietnam, I think this is imperative as well, because Vietnam is developing with technology adoption. So I think it's going to bring, the new horizontal perspective for Vietnam market and in AR specifically. And last one, sustainability. Like I said from the beginning, sustainability is really important factors nowadays to improve our well-being. So I think look at this when you're choosing the home decor layout. This is also like an important one. So based on what I just shared, we have the research questions and objectives. So I have 4 research questions. So first of all, I would like to know whether how the consumers perceive experience AR application in context of home decor Vietnam, with the relevant objectives right here. And the second one, what is the role of AR in promoting sustainability and eco-friendly home in decor? And this is relevant objectives. And the next ones, I would like to know whether there is an impact of cultural values and practices on AR adoption or not. And last one, I would like to see the differences between consumer behavior by using AR in buying the home decor items and also using traditional methods by going into the physical store directly. So these are the perspective of my methodology. So as I share from the beginning, because this is just the qualitative pilot study, I just want to know the preliminary result. So that's why I apply the qualitative pilot study. So I also apply the semi-structured interview. It means that I also prepare some determined questions. The interview based on some theories, also some framework in advance to ask the participants. And participants here, I would like to do the purposes sampling, because this is only in AR, so I need to look at someone who actually familiar with the AR usage and also the technology usage in general. And the sample, I would like to pick only 12. Obviously, the more the better. However, I also read the research based on Getz and his fellow. He said that interview until 12 participants, you're going to get the saturated result. It means that 12 is enough. So I based on his findings, I proposed a 12. But obviously, I wish I would have more time to do more if we have the wealth of time about that. And the criteria, I would like to choose the adults, age 20, age to 40. Why this age? As you know that this age is representing the very powerful buying consumption, because they have the stable jobs already. And for the age, they also have their own family, and they start, to look at, the stable life, just like me as well. So maybe they will start to buy a new house and decor their house. So they would like to look more about the stability in their status of life. So that's why I look at the 28 to 40 at this initial stage. So here are demographics based on the 12 samples here. So I chose urban area because urban area is famous for about the people who going to get exposure to the technology every day. So that's why I look at urban area. And Ho Chi Minh is also the urban area. So I choose it is because it's one of the big cities in our Vietnam. And 12 interviewees, and this is the age range. So if you'd like to know more, I would like to share with you later about the Appendix A. These are the gender distribution about male and female. So this is quite comparable number. So I believe that there is no differences in the way that they answer, in terms of the male and female. So and also like this is a level of interest of AR in home decor. So you see that most of the people also have the moderate interest in the AR in home decor, and the other is high the minor percentage. In terms of data collection methods, so when I interview them, obviously I would like to make sure that the environment is quiet and comfortable enough. There is no forcement here. There's no force about, you need to do the interview for me. So there's no about that. And the duration that I spend with them, like 30, 40 minutes, depends on the length of their answers. And I also recorded the interviews, also audio. I use the audio, video recorded methods with them. And so the interview guide, these are the questions that I asked about. This is a section covering some questions. So I asked them about background, what is their experience with AR so far, perception of sustainability and eco-friendly home decor items, consumer behavior, decision-making process, and influence contributional factors. And last one, is there any future perspective on AR in home decor or not? And this is like a techniques that I use to do for the qualitative approach. So this is like typical approach of thematic analysis. So these are the steps. So let me tell you how I going to read all of the answers of the interviewer. So first of all, I read again and again. And that's what we say the familiarization. And after that, I do some type coding. It means that I just underline, the specific keywords that going to answer the questions that I asked them about. And then I'm going to look at the generating themes, the first one, the second round reviewing themes, to make sure that I got the correct themes. And obviously I'm going to define the themes. So what does it mean to me? Oh, I mean to the study as well. And last one, I'm going to write some findings. So here are the findings. Interestingly, you see that I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 findings from their answers, relevant to 4 research questions so far. So I also do some kind of like Google. I use a Google tool, to visualize all of the big themes, emerging themes, and the sub themes and sub categorization as well. So you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 emerging themes. Because the time is limited, so I cannot go into very detail. But if you can see very clearly here, so for the big theme, I always come up with the sub theme, and these are the coding. After I read their interview responses, so these are the recoding. Okay, so if you'd like to know more, these are the example of some codes of the participants that I interviewed so far. So for interest and usage of AR, there is a very very interest level. Okay, and this is like there is a the wide spectrum of their answers in terms of interest level, so high, non, low, and moderate. So here are their example answers. And some of them also said that they have the very limited experience in AR. It means that they just use AR for fun but never use it for in home decor before. Or some of them also use AR for home decor, but they just play it and then just 10 minutes and then they just put it away, right? So that's why I put it in the limited experience. And for perception of AI features, so majority of them said that they also like the AR a lot in terms of the realism and detail, because AR going to give them the better vision of the realism, can know that how our how objects and items would look like in the real space if you look at the AR, you use the AR technology. And they also said that customization, they think that AR also can offer us a customization about choosing the colors, the size, the styles, or so on. So these are the customizations as well. And in terms of influence on decision making, interestingly, that there is a mixed impact. So some of them say that the AR actually influence on their decision making. It means that they use AR to buy stuff. But for some of them, they say that AR is just like a add-on function. So they just use that, to check it, and then but when they want to make the real decision about buying, they rather go to the physical store. Balance a digital physical. So when I asked about the influence in decision making, they said that it's better if we have the combination of the digital and physical. It means that maybe using AR for the first stage of the customer journey, looking at checking out the items or the size or the colors. But when to come to the final decision, then we need to go to the physical, so to check it in for real eyes, with the naked eyes, how it looks, what is the texture of the items. And for expectation improvement, so I asked them that what would you like to see for the AR in the future? Because I asked the question, if I would like to know, I would like the marketers and developers look at this also and improve the AR in the futures as well. So they say that they would like to see that AR should improve the realism and accuracy. It means that we should not use the 3D animation or cartoon animation. We should use like the real picture and put it in the house as well. So that's how I with the realism. And the app also need to provide accurate information about this size, the styles, or any recommendation as well. And they also recommend. The interview also recommend the additional functionalities, so space scanning, customization option, and more customization. And in terms of cultural and behavioral factors fighting, so I think it wows me that all of them say they believe that there is the cultural factors affecting the way that we use AR in home decor. The first thing is about the urban and rural divide, because obviously for the people who live in the urban areas, they are exposed to the technology every day, so obviously they get more familiar with the AR in home decor compared with the people who from the rural. And another thing I think this is interesting is about religious beliefs. So they said that they believe that AR should also offer some functions, also some customization styles about the traditions for Vietnam only. For example, the Buddha, or if you live in the Buddha families, having like that. So how can you going to decor your house, going to respect the Buddhas as well, and the personalization is interesting to me as well, because they also said that they use AR and they also care about how AR going to personalize, offer some items matching with their personalities, also zodiac signs. For example, if you are Aquarius, so what going to be the items, the color should matching with you. So this is interesting. That's why I put it is unexpected finding. I never expected it, right? So I would like to sum up for the cultural behavior factors that they majority of the people that I interview, they also really look at the religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, astronomy, also zodiac sign, and also data privacy concerns. And in terms of willingness to use AR, yes, majority people say that they're willing to use AR in home decor. If that's why I put that a condition on you. If the AR can satisfy with the functionalities that I explained earlier about the realism and accuracy. And they also said that we use AR in only for the first stages, but for the for the decision making the stages, they also would like to combine with the physical store. In terms of impact on sustainability home decor, so they say yes, they would like to use the AR if AR can also offer some function promoting the message of the sustainability. It also can also offer, for example, if you use the AR, if AR can do like this, so if AR can also recommend some eco-friendly items, first before any other typical one, they go into to use AR in terms of that. So that's all about findings. And these are the interpretations. So for the interpretations here, the difference in the interest level, so it shows that it highlights the heterogeneous nature of consumer readiness and openness to integrate AR into the home decor decisions. The limited experience with AR, so it showed that there is a need for more comprehensive user education and demonstration of ARs. I agree. I agree with the findings about this, because that, like, why I interview them, most of them say that yes, they know what they are, but there are not many brains in the home decor using AR nowadays. So it's better for for the marketers and business look into that. And then for the role of AR in promoting sustainability and eco-friendly home decor practices. So yes, that is a good news that there is a possibility for sustainability, if you use AR. And then they also like a strong interest of the people using AR if the AR can integrate the function of the sustainability promotion. And for influence cultural factors on AR adoption, yes, once again, the cultural sensitivity and tradition should be considered. Why we implementing AR in marketing program as well, and also looking at the urban and rural divide, because I think that if people who are from the rural divide, they also want to use the AR, because rural, it means very far from from the center. So if they can use AR and know that what is the suitable items for them if they live in the remote area, so that is very convenient for them. And the personalization and cultural elements, so this is indicate importance of personal identity within commuter practice and the need for AR to cater these cultural nuances. Yeah, and in terms of the changes consumer behavior, so like I said before, so there is a big impact on decision making. So some of them say that AR is useful, but some of them say AR is just an add-on function. So if you as a marketer, what would you do? Yeah, obviously you need to enhance the feature and function to entice consumer buying behavior for those people who haven't believed in the AR yet, and also can enhance engagement, customization as well. And it's better for the customer journey. You need to look at the integration of AR and traditional shopping methods, right? I believe that AR and physical store cannot be replaceable. We cannot choose either of them, but it's better to combine them. I believe that to have a very seamless and also unified customer journey. That's one of my interviews said that. And for supporting findings, yes, luckily that with the results, I mean the result like this, it supports for the previous research in the past about the enhanced consumer engagement, improve the decision making. So all of this to support the findings. And for cultural sensitivity and sustainability, this is kind of like extending knowledge. It extends the knowledge about in Vietnam. It highlights cultural factors. It also partially aligns with the Hofstede model as well. And for sustainability, although it's never it's never aligns with the previous one because it's very rare in the existing research, but it also builds on the Jaeger and Weber and also like Paul Harley research in the past. So it just built on that, and I think that we need to continue with what we just found. And for unit contribution, so we found out that it's a hybrid approach. Like I said, customer journey need to be integrated, not just using the physical or also only the AR. And for tailored strategy, so with those customization and functionalities recommendation, so that is good for the marketers and developers to look at the tailored strategies as well. And indication for practice, so I would like to say very quickly, it enhances the realism in detail. So AR developers need to focus on this. Also consider the cultural sensitivity, security, targeted marketing strategy, and also need to promote sustainability in their AR apps. And for theory, so with my study significance like this, so I hope that my study can contribute to the experiential and technological marketing by looking at the cultural adaptation and technology adoption, consumer behavior, and sustainability in technology as well. And this is conclusion. So yeah, these are 5 factors. This is the main part that I just discussed about. And then also limitation, obviously. So the sample size is very small, so it's better if we could look at the quantitative validation with the larger scale of study. Cultural specificity. So this is only in Vietnam only, and it's imperative to look at another regions as well to compare with the results. And limited AR experience. Yes, like I said, that majority of people here have a very limited experience with the AR. So we need to choose another. I think samples and who has also like have a better experience with the AR to see the better views. And last one, technological limitation. So some of them also said that the AR is not really popular. I mean, AR in home decor is not really popular in Vietnam. So that's why maybe for the future I need to reach more, the larger sample and maybe more diversified sample. So that's why, based on what the limitation, I would like to propose some future research. First of all, this is the most important one: quantitative validation and longitudinal studies. So it's better if you can observe them in the repeated results. You can do repeated surveys to look at how their consumer behavior changes throughout the time. Or you also can do the comparison among the regions. And also the last one, looking at more the customer journey of the AR's impact on the purchasing. So that's all I would like to share about my presentation. I know it's really long, but I hope I can give you very comprehensive what I'm doing right now. So here are the appendix. Thank you so much for your listening.
Thank you so much. It's okay. We have time still. We have till 1:10. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really impressed of the quality of the presentations and the contents. I really was I was worried coming here and sharing these sessions, and I thought, me, oh, I'm finance. I don't know anything about marketing, but I'm finding it more and more interesting, actually. And I can see even some potential for multidisciplinary interaction with finance. Actually, with augmented reality in Australia now, they're using it widely. Other day I went to buy a suit, and now it's all, I don't actually go and try a suit. I can just sit in front of the screen and I just pick the suits and put the tie. That's how the guy was just putting things for me, and I was fascinated by it. I was like, oh, that's easy. Then going and trying suits on, and at the end I bought the thing that I found it more suitable for me. And they also use it for kitchens and things like that now as well. But my question is, you said in your sample that you said you picked those 12 based on their knowledge of technology, that they already know about AR, augmented reality, or also they have familiarity with technology. But wouldn't that make your sample biased? Those who usually are like that, those who are high income, highly educated, so your sample didn't include anyone from the other side, from the other spectrum. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
your wouldn't the results then be biased because this is only the view of those group of people? Not everyone. Sample is not general sample representing the population, which is everyone almost in different income levels and different education levels, and you see how the difference between the responses. This is only the responses of people who are familiar with this technology or technology in general, which tend to be usually higher income and higher education levels compared to the farmers, for example, lower income, lower education. So what do you think about that? Like, how would you address that? Because most likely the reviewer is going to ask about that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your questions. Okay, so I would like to share with you about the question that I asked them. So in the case that to avoid some bias, when I asked them, I also yes, obviously, when I also have you ever used AR for home decor purpose? So if yes, I'm going to ask this question. So if no, I'm going to ask this question. So the results here, it's also not from the people who are familiar with the AR, but also like the people who actually not familiar with AR. And like I agree with you that there would be the differences in in the way that they answer. So for the people who say no, they say that if they use the conditional use, they say if a lot. So if the AR can provide me this, provide me with that, so they would like to use. But the interesting dividing, the people who actually use the AR before, they say that they never like AR. I mean, AR is just like an add-on function. So that's why there is a big differences in the way that they answer about the AR functions. Yeah.
I think people are also skeptical about the use of AR because, as you said in your research findings, they are worried about the quality. I
Yep.
don't know if what's in front of me is going to be the end picture in the kitchen of the sofa. It shows me is nice, and that's actually, I think that's also from the marketing perception. That's coming from a lot of other things in front around us. When you go to McDonald's and eat the burger, the Big Mac, it doesn't look anything like the picture. You know what I mean? So augmented reality might be still it will take time for people to accept it and
Yes.
believe it. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you about that. So that's why, maybe in the future, we need to change the perception of the people who use AR. Maybe the people who haven't used it, they say, oh, AR is good, it's interesting. But the people who use it already, they said, oh, AR is just AR, this is an add-on function. Well, that's why maybe in the future, we need to look more why the people use AR, they feel like AR is just an add-on, whether we can increase their trust or not.
I think people change over time. I've been here in Australia for 22 years, and AR wasn't even existing then. But with time, even when it came to exist, people were just playing with it. No, actually.
Yeah, yes.
Now people are changing, and that might be to a lot of different factors. For example, people are more busy.
Yes.
As I said, I don't have time anymore to go and try 10 suits to pick one. So standing in front of the screen doing that, oh, that looks nice, and then I can try two. You know what I mean? So it's becoming more practical for me, given my busy time and my lifestyle as well.
Yep.
So things change over time, I think, gradually, but this is why we do research, I think.
Yeah,
So
that's why we need to look at the longitudinal studies as well. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right. So we have I think your discussant is
Miss Chu.
Wang, right? Or Chu? Yes, I can't pronounce the first one. Chu, is it?
Yeah, Chu.
Okay. So where is she?
Chu.
Oh, I think she left somewhere. Right? Yeah.
She left. She left, or maybe there's some technical issue.
All right.
But then while waiting for Chu, I have a question for Han as well.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I love this research. I believe that other marketing scholars gonna share the same feeling with me, because it's combined what we call triology. Three things that I love the most. Number one, AI, very trendy, very maybe in Australian is the issue of the past, something like that. But in Vietnam, it's really trendy now. It's just a very early adoption stage. So number one, AI. Number two, sustainability, and that's I'm working on as well. I love that topic. And the other one on the methodology, so qualitative research. And this is not basically a question, but it's something that I just want to learn from you. So you mentioned that you apply something you call sectorization principle, right? And that's what I'm questioning myself as well when I conducted the qualitative analysis. So how many participants, how many numbers of focus group is enough? So that's a very key question. And how did you decide whether that kind of data collection are, sectorized or not yet? So let's take an example. So in your research, you mentioned that, okay, there is the number of factors that influence the love for AR or the adoption, the AR adoption. For example, there is something that for myself and also for the people that I know, the very first concern when it comes to AR is something risk-related factors. For example, data privacy. Because when we opt in to use the AR, then the mobile phone, the database, and everything can have some certain access to our data. So the very top of my issue is risk factor related, something like privacy, something like that. So how did we just ensure that the result has been saturated? And then we stop the interviewing and proceed with the next step. Next step is the data analysis.
Okay.
I want to learn from you as well.
All right. So thank you so much for your questions. So you asked about the data privacy, when also use the AR. So if if you ask me about how to address about the data privacy, because I would like to say it is maybe the job from the developers of the AR. They need to show that some kind of like the disclaimers or the assurance that all of the data that you use for your house is safe, right? So this is about data privacy. So as a researcher like me, I just want to know about how they feel about the AR. And maybe one of them, you said, I agree with you that I also the finding that I found yeah, like I said, they also have the data privacy concerns where they use AR as well. But it's not just about how. Maybe I cannot give you the answer of how to tackle the data privacy.
Not that kind of. So I just rephrase my question. So data privacy is just an example of the research findings. But what I want to learn from you is how did you decide that the data collection has been reaching the saturized stage so that we can stop the interviewing with the data analysis?
Okay. So based on my experience and also, because I did the quantitative before. So you first of all you said that, how many focus groups should be that is enough. So based on my experience only, and so in the past I just did, for three focus groups, but each group including from 6 to 10 because you said focus group. So obviously if you sum up is about 30. So 30 is good enough. And then yes, the 30 he also based on some other research, they said that the 30 is enough. But when I feel this is enough for me, so I read all of the 30 interviewees, and then I see that there are some themes that appear again and again.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think this is enough. This is enough. But there are some theme. Obviously, there are some theme. Maybe only two people only give the unexpected theme. Maybe that's why I put at the unexpected theme. That just like that, just stop at unexpected theme. But maybe you put it in the future research. For this unexpected theme, we need to look more, or maybe get more insight by another interview. Only ask those questions about that to see that there is another, or also like we get more insights for those unexpected themes.
Yeah. So yeah, when it comes to qualitative, then it's a little bit harder to just
Yeah, it's time consuming, Jay. Really time consuming.
But I'm sorry, but wouldn't that be different between specializations? I mean, you said saturation reached the point of 12 according to your reference.
Yes, based on this. Yeah.
My belief that might be real or true if we are talking about medicine, the discipline of medicine.
Yeah.
If I interview 12 people who have COVID, most likely the symptoms are very close to each other. If I include more people, they're going to just keep repeating the same symptoms. So saturation might be 12. But when I talk about finance, for example, and I go and interview managers from 12 banks, no. If I interview another 10, they might give me different results, different based on the bank size, their engagement with other banks. There is more factors. So I think the specialization is very important. What are you saturation based on what? Medicine, finance, marketing. So each one have different, I think different, because at the end, based on statistics, it has to be representation of population, whatever your sample is. And if it's gonna keep repeating, giving you the same results, then there is no point. You're just getting the mean then.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Maybe I will look at in the further research to prove that maybe in the marketing there would be a certain typical numbers for the qualitative study. But anyway, this is just pilot study, so I hope that it's just preliminary study. Yeah, but thank you so much. Yeah.
Anyone else from the floor?
I think discussion chị Trúc, Miss Trúc also want to ask.
Okay, she's a discussant. Someone else wanted to ask question, I think.
Yes. Hi.
Okay, so we'll follow after the discussant. Just give her a chance to. Okay.
All
right.
Hi there. I just have one question from about your presentation. I would say I really like how you structured everything. Everything seems to be very clear. One part that I'm particularly kind of got my attention was the urban and rural divide. So when we were thinking about it, I feel that the need for AR, it's more needed in rural areas, but it's less accessible to them. Things such as you have a variety of features that you can have on software, you would probably need quite advanced hardware to accompany it. So you would need quite a few modern devices to make use to be able to support for all those features, which is not very readily available to people from rural areas. So one question I thought of would be, so for companies in this market, in home decor, if they want to reach the rural, if they want to use, if they want AR to reach consumers from more rural areas, make it more accessible to them, etc., all that, how do you think they can overcome this challenge?
Wow, that must be, the questions must be answered from the marketers and also, the business as well. But as researchers, I also as a part of process. So I would like to think like this. So I agree with you that the rural rural areas is the one that needs more AR because that people want to get accessible to the items. So if I were the marketers and also the business, the companies who actually developing the AR, maybe I would like to do first is I would do like some kind of market research whether they need it or not, because that this is just assumptions that okay, rural needs that, but if we don't do the real market research to see that whether there is a big demand from the rural areas or not, so we don't. So if there is a yes, okay, from the positive results from the rural area say that okay, yes, we need the AR. So obviously we go into look at we cannot build the companies for in rural AR just for that, but we go into look at maybe to collaborate with the delivery companies. The shipping companies, for example, or we also can look at the distribution systems as well, whether we can build a distribution system in those rural areas or not. Yeah, I believe that focus on the market research and building on the distribution system, going to spread out, to extend the coverage to the rural areas.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Thank you for answering.
Now, where is the discussion? She's gone again? No, she's here. No, she's gone. Okay. I don't know where she goes.
Miss Trúc?
No, she's not here. She's off.
Miss Trúc, are you still here?
We have Trúc here, right? Trúc
Oh, yes.
can you hear us?
You're mute.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, this is your presentation is very interesting, and I know more about the qualitative research, and I learned a lot from your research. Thank you so much, and I don't have any questions. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Thanks for everyone and for the presentations today. Actually, I wanted one of my best friends when I was doing an undergrad his name was Tariq Mahdi. Dr. Tariq Mahdi, we went together even to America after our undergrad, and we did master in finance in Louisiana State University. But he, after that, did his PhD in marketing. He didn't like finance much, and then he went to marketing. And now he's the dean of the School of Business, University of Prince Edward Island in Canada. And he's actually an editor in the Journal of Global Marketing, if I'm not mistaken, Tariq Mahdi. But I remember when he was doing his PhD, I was doing my PhD here in Australia, and he was doing it in America. And I told him, like, marketing, why would you go from finance to marketing? Man, marketing is boring. And he's like, nah.
It's boring.
But that's why now, after I attended these presentations, I owe him apology.
Been a banker. I used to be a banker.
See? So
Yeah,
you went to the opposite. You found banking.
And now
Actually,
I'm doing a PhD in marketing.
I would agree with you. Bank was extremely boring working in a bank.
Yeah, bank was boring.
I think that was my turning point to academia. When after I finished my undergrad, I went to a bank and I worked for 6 months and I couldn't do it. I just quit and told them, no, I'm going for my PhD and my master's degree. But as I said, I owe Tariq an apology. I will definitely call him and tell him, man, I'm sorry. It's very interesting research, very interesting research. Although in finance we don't use much, there is questionnaire, but usually in personal finance or financial planning, things like that, when we interview people, mostly quantitative, or we don't use structure modeling much, but a little bit. But I never expected all this. So now good part in finance, or the thing I see good, is behavioral finance. Everyone is doing it now, which is very connected to marketing, because you're looking at behavior of consumers, behavior. Actually, we have now a financial lab for behavioral finance, where we have a lot of high-tech things. We measure actually the perception of people, the brain, and how they look at things. Yeah, so it's very interesting. I really enjoyed those presentations. It was very nice to meet everyone here, and I hope I see you in Sydney, Australia, one day. And most likely I'll come to see Vin next year, and hopefully I see also next year some of you guys. All right, any questions for everyone? Anyone?
No questions, but my last request, we wanna take a group photo. So
Sure.
everyone, please turn on your camera and be as beautiful as possible. 3, 2, 1, cheese.
Hold on, they are turning the cameras on.
Chị ơi, again chị ơi.
Okay, everyone turn the camera on.
Okay.
I just paste this one first. Okay, another one. Everyone, please turn on your cameras. 3, 2, 1, cheese. Very good. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. I'll see you in the other sessions, I guess. In the main lobby now we go, right? Okay.
Yeah, so please come back to the main lobby.
This meeting is being recorded. This meeting is being recorded.